My name's Chris.
And I'm Christy.
This is the Washing Up Podcast, but then again, you know that.
And I'm Christy.
This is the Washing Up Podcast, but then again, you know that. Now...
Because it hasn't been like all the 7 days yet.
Because it hasn't been all the 7 days.
And it's always drilled into your head.
Yeah, we're always there. Leah at For the Tweets did say the other day, oh, God, I've got another podcast to listen to. The answer is yes, Leah, you do. And this is a special one. Couple of reasons this is special. First of all, we're doing the Bakeoff Ashes. This is a concept I've had for a while.
Come on, where's the music?
I know, I've got other things queued up. So
okay.
That's the first thing. It's the Bakeoff Ashes. It's a really good concept. We'll get into the concept in a minute. But for everyone who live tweets the Great Australian Bakeoff and Great British Bakeoff in Australia, have we got a surprise for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Black, how you going?
I'm very good. Chrissy, how are you today?
This is
tops.
We're wonderful.
Because, you are the most awesome human being we've known because you actually like our podcast and liked it from the beginning. We're like...
You're the early adopter.
Yeah, you're the hipster of our podcast.
And we've had so many requests to go, when's he coming on the pod? When's he coming on the pod? And we've spoken about it a few times. But this just seemed perfect. So
it's a treat for us and a treat for you at home.
So great to have you on.
Oh, thank you very much. I do have to admit, it's probably very obvious I'm a bit Bakeoff obsessed.
But that's perfect. I mean, it works for us. I mean...
Because, we're not.
No, not in the slightest. But it's really the perfect concept to have you on for. We were trying to work out what episode would work if we wanted to get you on. And the second I sort of went, we need to do a podcast about the Bakeoff Ashes, I'm like, there's only one person I can think of that will know both of them inside out. That would be you.
Me, yes.
That would be you. So this is a real treat for us to get you on for this episode, and we're really looking forward to it. So,
it's a treat for me too. For years, I've wanted because they've done so many series of British Bake Off. I've been wanting them to do an All Stars, and it doesn't look like that's ever going to happen. So this is probably the closest we're going to get, and I hope the Aussies crush them.
So let's go, Leah. Let's go with the idea of, given this is the closest we're going to get, let's make it work. So what we've done is there's been a lot of work in the laboratory. I've sat down in the lab, spent a lot of time in the lab, compiling.
Asking me to come up to the lab and
see what's on the slab. You did shiver with
anticipation.
Thank you. So perfect. So we didn't rehearse that, folks.
No.
But we've been nutting out this theory for a while in terms of how would you do it and trying to work out the best way to do an Ashes Australia versus British. And it started by just asking the question to people when we were interviewing them, if you had to pick a team to go against an Australian team or you had to pick a team to go against the British. And it sort of developed into something that everyone's gone, that'd be really cool. So we're like, well, why not give it a go and just see what we can come up with? So I'm going to lay out the format because there is a format to it. Originally it was going to be elimination. I did realise there was no chance in hell that, A, they would do 12 weeks of this. Secondly, there was absolutely no way that anyone who agreed to do it would agree to do it on the basis of you could be eliminated. So everyone needs to be involved. So what we've got is a show that lasts for 4 weeks. It's only 4 weeks.
Just 4.
But what are 4 weeks? So there are 2 phases of the contest. The first 3 weeks are a competition where the teams break themselves into little groups.
Yeah.
So you have the signature, and the signature is an individual 2-on-2 challenge. So the Australian team picks 2 of their bakers, and the British team picks 2 of theirs. Right? For the technical, it is a 1-on-1 showdown to the death. To the death. Again, it's baking, but to the death.
Is this when we play the Klingon fight music?
Yes, this is.
Where's the music?
No. And then the showstopper is a 2-on-2 teams event. So this is for the first 3 weeks. Points are awarded as we go. So it's 3 when it's an individual challenge. It's 3, 2, and 1. So 3 for first, 2 for second, 1 for third. In the technical, you win it, you get a point. No points for losing. Notice how it's not running up. It's a loser. The showstopper is 2 points for the win, and once again, you lose, you get nothing.
Because it'd be great because if we have Canadian judges that go, who's going to be the loser?
Hello to our Canadian listeners. Then,
how's the Tim Hortons?
There is a prize, by the way, for winning the first 3 weeks. The team that wins the first 3 weeks gets to pick the grand final theme. That's big because, of course, you can pick to your strengths. So, say, for example, you've got people that are brilliant at bread and the other side don't. You can make a bread week. You can pick cake. You can pick whatever, your pastries, whatever you want to pick. Then in the grand final, for the signature, it's all in. Everyone bakes because why would you want to leave anyone out of a grand final? So everyone bakes. It's 3, 2, and 1, same as before. In the technical, it's all in again, and it is 5 points for first. It is 3 points for second, and it is 1 point for third. And the showstopper is a team challenge 5-on-5, 3 points for a win. You lose, you get nothing.
Zip.
Zero,
so nada.
After that, we should be able to crown a winner. And I think it's a fair way to do it. What do you reckon, Brendan?
Of course, I do think that's very fair. It actually kind of reminds me of the Eurovision Song Contest in the way, how they're like, and our 12 points goes to Australia.
That's how we can do judging. We'll get teams of judges from around the world, the different Bakeoff things, and they can all award. So it's like even better. There's like multiple... And then we can go to the losing team, nil point.
And the point goes to Australia.
Strategic voting. See, I've just got this image of it being a German week and then following up with the Von Trapp family bakers. But, okay, so this is the concept we've got now of all of those points. And I know a lot of people are going, there's too much there, Buchanan. Just listen back to it. This is the important bit, though. You need to actually think of your team composition. Mm-hmm. So, Christy, what sort of things would you think of when you were thinking team composition?
Well, obviously, you want someone who's brilliant with presentation. Like, you want someone who knows a showstopper inside and out, can turn a marshmallow into a work of art. So you'd be looking for the peacock of the team.
You want the peacock of the team.
You want the peacock. But then you want the shark of the team, someone who just knows how to fucking go in and grab it and just take something take something by the balls and make it work. Technical, they don't know, and boom, pulls it out. So
what you want is someone in the shed who will grab people by the balls.
Not
literally.
Literally, but
metaphorically. Metaphorical grabbing of testicles.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to be coming in ball shape to you. It could be apples, it could be buns. You never know. All right. And then you want someone who is like the fucking antithesis, the definition of German precision. Like they just come in and know how to pull out things technically perfect. They're good with the standard strong solid bakes.
Yep.
Like CWA fucking champion. The one that they pull out when like rural fire service is going.
We need some money.
Yeah.
It's again, I think the concept of doing it in the teams and doing it in the 2-1-2 format means that people can play to their different strengths. And it's also up to whoever you make your team captain to sort of work out the order in which you're going to play your hands. So in other words, playing versus the opposition.
Yes.
Who you pick to go against which other bakers and how you work that out. Is there anything you can think of, Brandon, in terms of the way that you would structure it just in general?
So you mean the teams?
Yeah, just what sort of things would you be looking for if you're a captain? What sort of things would you be trying to plan for?
I guess, as we've already discussed, you want like a good balance because obviously you want people who are very precise, good at presentation, have very creative ideas. But then you also want people that know flavour profiles, textures, because obviously at the end of the day, doesn't matter how good a bake looks if the judges bite into whatever you have said and it's like bland or it's dry or, dense or whatever, then it's going to ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. You want people who who can do this. So what we've done is I've put a general call out to a few bakers and a few just generally on Twitter as well, and we've put the call out to see if anybody's interested in putting together their teams. I've been surprised by the people that have actually been up there. there's been a lot of people that are very keen to put forward teams. So what we're going to do is we'll run through some of these teams and we'll talk through each of these selections as we go, and then we'll get to the bit where the three of us put forward our teams. Now, we've picked British and Australian. Not everyone has done that. Most people have picked British and Australian. So let's start with one of our British contributors, Yan.
Yeah.
So I got an email from Yan the other day. I said to her, would you like to put together a team? And she goes, it would be my pleasure. So Yan has put together a team. Okay. So what she's done, and now I should mention before we do this, I did put some parameters on the teams. Only the last 3 series. Now, the reason for this is, realistically, we need it to be even, and the British have got a hell of a lot more series than Australia does. And so you could draw from more bakers for the British. So it needs to be even. So I think it needs the most recent 3 series from Australia, the most recent 3 series from the UK.
Yes.
Also, let's face it, the first series of Australian Bakeoff on Channel 9 doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. Definitely does not.
And this is
it
not
means
against
nothing to me.
This is not against anyone who was on it, but seriously, we all know it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, the rules were you had to pick from the last 3 series. A couple of people tried to bend it a little bit, haven't let that happen. Okay, so Yan picked herself as captain, which I sort of suggested to her she probably should.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she's got a sporting background, so you really want her to come in with
leadership qualities.
Exactly.
Leadership qualities.
And you know, as we saw on the show, she was very calm, very, very centered, and she was always going around helping other people. So I think she'd be good for the team dynamic, always making sure people know what they're doing, nobody's getting too flustered or overwhelmed, that sort of thing. You need someone like that.
Plus, when she needs to inspire people, she can bring up tales of her dad. Like, you know,
Exactly.
like the glorious tribute she did. She goes, remember when I made a poppy cake?
Yeah, and then
But she do it in
Heart of a Hero
the Heart of a
challenge.
Hero.
Oh, and the Basil the dragon and Alfonso the mango.
Oh, Basil the Dragon, and the story behind that is so good. As people may have heard, if you haven't, go listen to the podcast we did with Yan, which is, I recommend it highly, and that's not just because we're on it. In fact, it's not really because we're on it. It's because Yan's on it.
Yeah.
So,
I highly recommend it too. It's one of my favourite episodes, just saying.
it's good fun. So she's also picked Stephen. So Stephen Carvalho. She's picked Selassie. She's picked Alvin. And she's picked Andrew. So that's a pretty decent lineup because you've got Stephen, whose presentation is outstanding. You've got Andrew, who just creates just amazing things. You've got Alvin, who's fairly solid, and if you get bread week, especially if there's a kibata, if there's a kibata,
You're done.
then you're done.
You may as well just hand in the 5 points and walk away.
And then literally you've got
3
Selassie,
points,
who 1 can bake up a storm, and 2, and far more importantly,
Yeah.
is just going to charm everybody in that shed.
Oh, fuck you.
So I think that's a really strong team. She also said that if she could have a captain that wasn't her and was from outside the top 3, she picked Francis from Series 3.
Oh, I love Frances. Series 4 was the first season I ever watched. She most deserved to win. I call her the queen of presentation. She was pretty much incapable of presenting something that looked bad.
It's a skill to have. But unfortunately,
She coughs up like she's, just got a bit of phlegm that day, and it just comes out looking like a showstopper.
it's like, and yeah, oh, look, showstopper.
Mary and
Yeah.
even go,
Her phlegm is golden nuggets. That's what they look like.
Well, then I'm so pleased she's not actually able to be in the competition because she's outside the series, because I really don't want to compete against someone who coughs up golden nuggets. Now, her team for Australia, she picked 3. She said she can pick 3, couldn't pick anyone else out of it at the moment. But the 3 that she picked, there were some genius reasons too. The first person she picked was Dave Yan. And her rationale behind that was then either way, Yan wins. That is sheer genius.
that's why she's a science.
That is sheer genius. Also for his presentation skills. But I like the fact that either way, Yan wins. That's just perfect. She picked Emma, scientific background.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, and this rationale, I can't really go past this rationale, Olivia, because she's Olivia. That is
it goes without saying.
Yeah, well, when we get to our team, I don't think I'm giving away too many secrets because everyone kind of knows where I sit with regards to some people on Bakeoff, and I don't think I'm not spoiling it by saying that Olivia's definitely in my team, and I don't think I'm spoiling that for anybody. So, and I'll get to talk about that a bit later. So that's Yan's team. And then she said pick any two others, but they're her three Australians. That'd be an interesting little lineup. I think that'd be a fascinating little lineup. And I think she's got three really solid sort of Australians in there too. And noticing two of them from the most recent series. So one of the things we've talked about, and you've obviously heard and we've talked on Twitter, is that the most recent series, that quality is outstanding. And so that's something that I think, and Ran, you can speak to this, is that having those bakers from the most recent series in there, I think that's a bit of a tip of the cap to the current crop.
Oh, most definitely. As I think I've said it on Twitter before, this series, unlike other series, has constantly kept me guessing. Like usually, like in series 1 and 2, fairly early on, I can sort of pick who's going to be the top three. But earlier on this series, I think 2 out of the 3 that I'd picked for the top 3, they got booted out probably midway through the series. That's how close everyone is.
Yeah, it's been really tight. Now, we've also got a second British contributor, but this one didn't just write it down for me. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the podcast, friend of the show, Stephen Carter-Bailey, is appearing via audio format. So, this is Stephen's British team.
Hey, Chris and Christy, this is Stephen Carter-Bailey from Great British Bakeoff 2017. So, my dream team would be, obviously, I'm going to bring along Tom because he's a very good friend of mine. Also got Candice as well. She is an incredible baker and a friend of mine. Who else should we have? That's 3. Let's put Nadia in there because she's sensational. And I'm going to throw Liam in as well because everybody loves Liam. I'm also going to do a bit of a curveball and bring in an Australian MasterChef contestant from season 6, Nick Harvey Doyle. He's my best friend. Absolutely perfect.
Cheat!
Ringer!
It's a ringer. Thank you, Stephen, for that. That is genuinely wonderful. So
we've got this little known Australian baker, Anna Polivu.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. We'll put Anna Polivu in the background. Yeah, she was in series 1. No one saw it.
I thought you said we couldn't do more than series.
we changed our mind. Yeah. That's a really good team, though.
Fuck yeah, that is strong as
I don't know. What do you reckon about that one, Brandon?
Oh, most definitely love all those people. Like Candice, obviously, she was amazing. Like, that gingerbread pub still, to me, is the most memorable one from her season.
I was thinking she won the series.
Because no one else was able to match that standard the rest of the season. And then you've got Tom. I was very good with flavors. I think flavors play to his strengths. I was honestly actually very surprised he went out as early as he did. He just had a really bad week in Caramel Week, as anyone could have. But I honestly thought he would make it at least to the second half. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But I still think he's a very strong contender for Stephen's team that he picked.
Yeah, I think he's a bit of a dark horse in there because, again, as you said, his work with flavours early on was really good. And that was something that Paul and Mary kept on talking about, was just how good his flavours were. And it was just that bad week that messed him up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's actually probably out of all of the people that he's picked. I mean, a lot of the other ones are pretty straightforward, I think. But I think Tom's the bit of the dark horse there, and that's quite a good call. You've been too canny for us, Stephen. You've been too canny. Don't get any ideas, young man. Thank you, though, for that, Stephen. That'd be great. Now, he only picked, obviously, a British team, so I'm going to go to someone who only picked an Australian team now.
No, I'm working on it as we speak.
Not you.
Oh, someone else.
Someone else only picked an Australian team.
Okay.
Right. The other person who picked an Australian team only was Emma. So Emma from this series picked me an Australian team, and she has gone with Marcus. I'm assuming there's the dentistry connection there as well. Dave, that's got to be presentation. Barb, Olivia, and Fee. That's a strong lineup. That's a really strong lineup. I think that lineup there. You've got, Marcus obviously has these really cool ideas, and again, a bit like what you were saying in terms of a couple of other people. It's like Selassie's there. He can bake really well, but he's also got that personality. Well, who doesn't love Marcus? And like Stephen said with Liam, who doesn't like Liam? Well, we're going to need someone that everyone loves. Hello, Marcus. Dave, that presentation that Dave can put out is just incredible.
Yeah.
Barb, again, that's strong in terms of just good all-round solid baking.
And also, sorry.
Okay, no, go on.
And another thing I should add in about Barb, she's got the Justice for Barb fan advantage. So if Australia loses, not users, we'll all be screaming Justice for Barb because, you can't treat Barb badly like that.
No.
And if we decide to go with the televoting like Eurovision, Justice for Barb campaigns will be handy.
And you can just jump on the hashtag.
Yeah, just hashtag Justice for Barb. And then you've got, I said, Olivia and Fee. Yeah, I don't really need to go into that at the moment either. I think that's and again, Fee is one of the most creative people that's ever been in that shed. Just ideas that I don't know how she comes up with them, and they're just incredible. So I think that's a really good lineup from Emma too. And I'd put that up against Stephen's lineup. I think that could be quite a good little fight.
Yeah.
Now, that brings me to another fan-suggested one, and not a fan of us. I'm talking about the show because, But Austinite on Twitter, our good friend Austinite on Twitter. Now, she was going to try to join us this week, but she's been able to join us through message. And what she's come up with for her team is, for Team Great Britain, she's got Sophie, she's gone Stephen, she's gone Yan, she's gone Andrew, and she's gone Ian from Series 6. Her backup, by the way, is Tamal.
Ooh, I like that.
So she's got a backup.
Oh, I like that. That's a very, very strong team.
That's a damn good team.
Wow.
Sophie's really strong.
Oh.
Stephen, obviously, that presentation is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yan, ideas, lots of ideas. Andrew, and then Ian. That's
wow.
I imagine their bakes will be like some huge mechanical contraption with Ian and Andrew in the lineup.
With Ian bringing everything from home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just knocked this up at home. I just, while Andrew's like, I just knocked this contraption up at home, and Ian's like, well, that's good. I grew everything we're using.
He went and mined the ore.
I made the iron.
And smelted it. And then Andrew was able to turn it into some engineering feat.
That's what you need Kate for.
Yeah.
You need Kate to smelt it.
Yeah. Andrew draws up the designs. And there's
Kate's just off to the background.
You see clang, clang, clang.
Now, Austinite's team for Australia is Claudia, Chris, Barb, Antonio, Olivia.
Ooh.
That's really strong.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a really strong lineup.
Uh-huh.
Find me a weak link, I dare you. I don't know. What do you reckon about that one, Brendan?
You almost couldn't pick a stronger team, maybe except perhaps for mine, which I'll tell you later.
I love the confidence. Couldn't pick a stronger team except mine.
Perhaps I could, but you couldn't. He's just talking to us.
I could do that.
I mean, how can you go wrong with, someone that's won the show, somewhat like people that have made the final, the semi-final, and produced some of the best bakes we've ever seen on Australian British Bakeoff. So
yeah, work this out. If you look at her team, you've got finalists from this year, semi-finalists from this year, finalists from this year, finalists from last season, winner last season.
Yes,
that's strong.
Pretty fucking.
That's really strong.
Kick-ass.
So,
boom.
Okay. So speaking of my team, and my team's probably better than that. Mr. Black, you're up.
Okay, who should we start with, British or Australian?
Start with the British.
Yeah, start.
Okay.
I mean, it's the best team.
Okay, starting off with our English buddies from across the pond, I've got Nadia.
Yep.
I've got Flora, Jane, Jan, and Stephen.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're not concerned that Flora might get distracted?
Well, I think she will actually be fine because I was thinking, yes, she likes to do the little twiddly fiddly things, but she's on a team with 4 people, so they can, whoever else she's competing with, they can focus on the core bake. She can just focus all of her time on the added extras like her macarons and the twirls and whatever else she wants to do.
That could, again, if you put her in one of those team challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really just used her in the team showstoppers, she would be invaluable. That's a genius move. I'll give you credit for this. That's a genius move, and I like the fact you've got Jane in there. Jane, I know for a fact, is one of your favourites, and Jane again is just that good, solid, is going to do you a very good job, sort of.
Because what I was thinking about when I picked her, apart from caramel and chocolate collars, she can pretty much bake anything. Like, I mean, presentation-wise, like obviously, like, she does do good presentation, might not be as flashy as everyone else's, but in terms of flavour, she pretty much always hits the mark, and you need that on a team.
I think that's a really good call.
Preach.
So your Australian team to go up against this beast of a British team.
I know.
Most definitely. They will be quaking in their boots. They'll just want to quit as soon as they see them.
Look out.
Okay, so we've got Sean.
Yep.
Olivia.
Yep.
Antonio.
Yep.
Claudia and Dave.
Whoa, that's close.
Oh, wow.
That's whoa. Okay, so you've got probably 2 of the most creative and most brilliant presenters there in terms of David and Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
But Dave's a double threat because he also does the tech good.
Yeah, he can do that.
And he can make bakes that float. Not everyone can do that.
Yeah. You've never seen one man do a 2-man job. He's got teeth of steel.
So and Sean is a really good call. Sean has sort of fluctuated on the cusp of mine because, again, she's a very, very strong baker, obviously. And I think that, that season doesn't get enough love. But I think that, Sean is a really good call there too. Because,
for me, she's one of the best bakers I've ever seen come on these shows. Like, 2 of her bakes, like her cuckoo clock from the Biscuit Week, I still regard that as one of the best biscuit structures I've ever seen on British or Australian Bakeoff. And another memorable one was her chocolate Yule log, which is still my personal favourite bake from the Australian Bakeoff.
That's a really good call. So I think they're really good teams.
Well, I think we can just end the podcast now.
Yeah, we're done. We're not going to put our teams forward. All right, so I'm going to go last. And the reason I'm going to go last is because I seem to see that you've got 2 pages.
Yes, I've been working diligently on this.
Okay, so I get the feeling we're getting a little bit more than teams.
No. This is what a team takes. Have you seen, like, the Australian rugby team go overseas with just the team?
Okay.
No, they don't.
Okay.
They don't travel alone. All right, let's do this. But I'm going to start with the British first, all right?
Yep. Okay.
Captain, Nadia Hussain.
Yep.
A woman who can make asparagus seem interesting. Like, she's going to pick you up.
That's a good call.
She's got and she's an all-rounder too. She's pretty good with the flair, but she's good with the flavour, and she's good-ish with the text, all right? Mm-hmm. So she's not the best, but she knows where to find the best.
Yep.
Asparagus. Okay. Vice captain.
Yep.
Stephen.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Presentations and then something.
Yeah, exactly. And he knows how to support other people, but also, bring out the big guns. Right. Captain of the engineering squad is Andrew. He's also 3rd. Okay, because it's Andrew. He's got great technical skills.
Yep.
Same reasons as Brandon, and I might have just changed it quickly to Jane. flavor. She's like the flavor.
She's Captain the flavor. Yeah.
Captain favourite. All right. And we've got Sophie because she is that shark. She's that shark that will just focus and grab it by the balls and make it work.
Yep. So she's the solid. She's the very solid. Okay.
Okay, team manager.
Oh, well.
Okay, we've got Selassie as your team manager because he knows how to get everyone motivated and organised, but in a relaxed way, you know. He's not going to hype them up and scare them. He's going to keep them relaxed. The pep squad, of course, is Liam, and he's going to work in conjunction.
You've got a pep squad.
Yeah, and there's another important role, Bake listener. We're bringing in Val. Okay? Someone on the side with the, microphones in there. She's got a headset on. She's like, okay, I think that's ready. Right. Style consultants. We've got Ugne and Benjamina because both those ladies knew how to bring it. Now for WH&S and blacksmithing, we've got Kate because she's a double threat. And, of course, props. We need to bring in Ian and he can work with Kate in a safe way. To make that. Oh, they've also got a team nurse, and that's Alvin. He's also the Cubata consultant.
Okay.
Sounds like you've got a little movie production going there.
Like I said, you see these sports teams, and the actual team is just the tip of the iceberg as to who. Like, look at the NFL. No, yeah, the NFL teams. Like, they've got, 60 billion teams as backup and then all these, a small city state of support. So
I love that. I just imagine the credits, producer, Ciabatta consultant, Alvin.
Think about the credits rolling before we get to any production crew. The credits are going to take years.
It's a half an hour episode because of the credits.
And I won't lie, I'm just glancing to my left here. And the Australian team is much longer.
Well, it's because it's Australia and we take better care of our sports people. I mean, bakers.
Okay.
Captain, Olivia.
Yep.
McMahon. She's an all-rounder. She knows how to motivate people. She's got skills, but she also knows how to keep her shit together. And if all else fails, wine.
Yes.
Okay. The countess of the team. Bringing in Monica. Every good team has to have a countess. She's been Star Baker 3 times. You can't ignore her. We need to bring her in. And
she's also the beer baron of the tent. She's the one with the booze supply.
Well, that's why I've backed her up with the pep captain, Claudia, who's also been Star Baker 3 times and is a fellow booze hound. Because one, we're representing Australia, and 2, there's never enough booze.
And 3, someone has to supply the captain with her booze.
Precisely.
So, and it's those 2. Okay.
Vice captain.
Yep.
I thought we needed a bit of muscle in the team, a bit of muscle and a bit more swearing. So I brought in Chris.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Towers of power. Also, his progression, through this particular season, has been quite amazing to behold.
And the British team won't know what to make of the size of those bakes.
He will intimidate them with his size.
That's what
his trifle was probably nearly as tall as me.
Well, I did think it was a good thing that Emma wasn't there that week because she may have vanished inside it.
Because imagine when he flops that out on the bench and they're like, holy shit.
Anyway.
Okay, now we've got the junior captain, Antonio. Need a bit of youth on the team. We need someone to keep it real, to bring us some street cred and make us popular with the young people.
There's one thing I've always said about Antonio, it's street cred.
Street cred is well, you've seen him bribe his fellow students with cupcakes.
Yes, and his grandmother does talk about his smoking habit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I guess he would throw everyone off because no one expects someone of his age to be as amazing as he is.
Yeah.
That'll work perfectly.
Now, we're coming to, the people who aren't seen but are just as important. Now we've got the team manager / tiger mother, Fee Nguyen. Okay. You need someone to wrangle that bunch. Look at who we've got. Those 5 people need a strong hand and a stern word to keep them in line.
And good digital marketing.
Good digital marketing, indeed. And intellectual property.
And no one will be better than that than Fee.
Creative consultants. I pulled in Susie from season 2 and Raisa from the recent season.
Yep.
Recent season. Okay, tech consultant. We need James Dunsmore from season 2.
Yep.
He's a food historian. So
that makes sense.
a weird tech comes up, you're like, holy fuck, what's this? And he's like rattling off, where it came from and all that shit. Okay, team dental team, Marcus and Emma.
I mean, it's a smart call. They deal with kilograms of sugar, so there's bound to be some cavities somewhere.
Yeah.
And a cavity can ruin your whole bake.
And we need to demonstrate and show by, like, how we act. It's like behavioural demonstration to the English, how you keep your teeth in good shape.
Exactly.
Is that stereotyping and being a little bit racist? I think so. Okay. Team nurse. We've got Janet from season 2. Okay, she's a palliative care nurse.
Still.
But, she's still got a nursing background. We needed style and posing because, we need, if we're going to take team photos, someone's going to make us look good. So we've got Diana and Liesl from season 3.
And that is particularly important because, as we mentioned this a few times, but once you train your eye to different commercials to spot Diana, you will never miss her. In fact, you will see her everywhere.
Yeah. You're like, is that a random brunette? No.
That's Diana. You see an ad. I was watching TV the other day.
Yeah.
There was a family on there. It was advertising for 3M strips. And things that don't scratch your furniture. I look at the TV and I go, oh, look, it's Diana. So you can't miss her. So, yes, posing and style, that works perfectly.
Yeah, team finance and flair, because not only do you need to keep your books in order, you need to make sure it's done in a good way. So we've got Barb, Dunn and Dave.
That's a good call.
They can also come in on the creative consults. Okay, IT and bacon. We've got Robert.
IT and bacon.
IT and bacon. They go together like IT and bacon. It's Robert, of course, and Brendan from season 2.
Yep.
Right. Props department. We've got Jeremy, because he's a welder. And we've got Ben, who's a mining inventory planner. So I figure he's got access to some really big fucking gear. So, showstoppers eat your heart out.
There's some deep cuts in this.
Yes. Okay, Dance and Pep. I know Marcus is already on the dental team, but here he is again. Because Claudia can't do it all herself. She's going to be baking, so Marcus has to step in. Now, this has to be confirmed because I haven't been able to get in contact with him to see if he's still available.
Can't contact him in the Tasmanian wilderness?
No, we still have the Team Bake listener, and that is Noel. Noel, if you happen to hear this on your gramophone or whatever, just reach out.
Carrier pigeon.
I'm sure we have an old telegraph station here.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is my
there
team.
We go.
My team's the equivalent of Millhouse walking into show and tell and going, I have a horsey neigh. That's incredible. That's genuinely, Brendan.
Look, I came into this seriously.
Brendan, what do you reckon?
I love her list. Hers is the best. I don't think you can top hers. I'm sorry, Chris.
I don't know top hers either, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to, though, in terms of support.
You're the one who wanted to go last.
Yeah.
And, I thought I put a lot of thought into my list, but nope, I didn't come up with the whole cast and crew and more.
Okay, you know who's not enjoying this?
Who?
The production team who have to pay for all this.
We'll get sponsors. Devondale's good for it.
The price.
You could try and get White Wings and Dr. Oetker, or however you pronounce them, back on board.
I don't know if we need Dr. Oetker on board.
Who do we need? Who's got the big?
Why don't we just get the BBC to pay for it? Oh, that's right. They can't. It's Channel 4 now. They've got more money.
Sweet.
Channel 4's got more money. Channel 4 can pay for it.
Who owns Channel 4? Hold on. I'll do some Googling. You guys, start talking about your team.
All right. So my team, which, again, I have a horsey. Nay.
Britain's Channel 4.
Nay. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. We've got Team Great Britain, and I've gone back and forth on this a few times. I've got, I don't have the flash and the sizzle of what Christy's team is. I've just got solid reasoning. Captain is Nadia.
Okay.
It is very hard for me to find anyone in any series of British Bakeoff who was more well-rounded, more gifted, a better person at both presentation and the quality of the bake as Nadia. And I think that the growth that she had during that series is outstanding, and I think she's the perfect leader. I think Sophie is, again, You want somebody who is going to present you with really solid baking. You want someone who's not going to get flustered no matter what's put in front of them. They may not necessarily do something that's out of this world, blow away, look stunning, but their flavors are going to be bang on every time. And so they're not going to make a mistake, and that's what you're looking for in some of this.
As Sandy pointed out on the extra slice, Sophie has been shot at by the Taliban before, so nothing will get to her, I don't think, if you've been in that.
No, exactly. Yan, for sheer creativity. Still, for me, one of the biggest travesties in the history of Bakeoff is Yan not making it past where she was. I'm still to this day crestfallen that Yan didn't make it further.
Justice for Yan.
Justice for Yan. So I thought that Yan deserved to make it a lot further than she did. And again, those ideas and that gelatin work on that Heart of a Hero alone should have seen her through to a final.
Look, if only Stephen or Sophie could have. Who am I kidding?
Sorry. With Yan, it was like another story like with Tom, like up until that Italian week, in my memory, I don't think she'd ever fucked up a bake. So I thought
she'd been brilliant.
And she just had a bad week in that week, and that's just how it went, unfortunately.
Yeah, even then it was a really close run thing. I've then gone with Andrew. He's kind of the Willy Wonka of this. You know, he's just got this imagination that like no one else in there can sort of match. Even Nadia. Like Andrew's work in terms of like, what am I going to do to present these cupcakes? I know, I'll build a Ferris wheel.
What am I going to do to make these jousting people more interesting? I know, he will joust with his penis.
Yeah, I know. We'll give him a sticky toffee penis, and he can run with his caramel nut. There you go. Now,
I'm surprised they don't call blonde people, because they call redheaded people ginger nuts. Why don't they call blonde people caramel nuts?
Anyway, and the last person on the team.
Or does that mean more people with brown hair or chocolate nuts?
And the last person on the team, I weighed up between the two, so I have an alternate with them. The person I went for was Kate. I went with Kate. Now, and again, it's the historian side of that as well. The quality of her bake, I think that she's got this. She was sort of underestimated by a lot of people, I think, at times. And she just produced, every now and then, she produced this absolute gem. And it was outstanding. The alternate is Ian. And again, because nobody not only knows their flavour profiles but grows them all like Ian does. The only reason why I went Kate over Ian is occasionally Ian would try to pack too many of those flavours in at once, and that was occasionally his downfall. Whereas I think Kate can be a little bit more restrained, and that's sort of what you're after in this sort of challenge. You don't want to screw it up. You need someone who will go for it in the team, but you also need everyone else to just sort of hold the fort and do something solid. My Australian team. Now, I have a support crew, but not like Christie's, and I haven't given them roles. The support crew is Sian, Fee, Chris, Liesl, Jeremy, and Antonio. That's the support crew.
Yeah.
I've just got them turning up and coming and watching, cheering them on, giving advice, pep talk, you can do this. My team, the captain is Olivia. Again, I make absolutely no secret that Olivia is my favourite baker of all time. And, with apologies to everyone in the current season listening who I talk to, Chris, I know you're going to roar at me for that, but Olivia is my favourite baker of all time, and I don't know if that's possible to be replaced. Her abilities, her ability to sort of just produce really clever bakes, her ability to just sort of not get too overwhelmed with things. I mean, how many people do you know who stop in the middle of a grand final and go, this is shit, throw it out, start again, right? That sort of calmness under pressure is what you need. So I think Olivia is absolute perfect leader for my team. Robert, there's going to be cakes. There's going to be lots of cakes, right? There'll be cakes in there at some point. Also, Robert's a lot better at things like bread than he thinks. Remember, one of the things that Matt Moran said to him was, can you stop this thing that you're not good at bread? Because you kind of are, right? Plus his chocolate work is incredible for presentation.
Plus you can just bro on with him.
Yeah, plus I can bro on with him. Plus, who doesn't want a bandana?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a bandana in the shed? But
You could come up with Bakeoff Ash's bandanas, especially for the show.
Exactly.
That'd be awesome.
Ozzy, come on, and we can do the whole. This will be brilliant. This will be great. Speaking of cakes and speaking of decorating, Monica.
Oh.
Right. I think if I've got Robert and Monica, if there is a technical if there is a showstopper that involves making a cake, I want you to beat Robert and Monica for me.
Yeah.
I'll put any bakers up against the two of them, and I don't think they're losing. Claudia, you want someone who is just going to make quality time after time after time. That's Claudia.
You want the Cyndi Lauper.
You want the Cyndi Lauper, the time after time.
Yeah.
And Claudia just...
Because if you're lost, you can look and
you will find her time after time. And if you fall, she will catch you. She will be waiting. Time,
Have you ever thought of doing you could sing the theme song for this show? You've always impressed us with your musical talents on this podcast.
I don't know if impress is the right word, Brendan. I don't know if impress is the right word. Maybe we'll think about that.
Lovingly
Bakeoff musical.
We'll wrap it.
Enforce.
And my last pick, and I've changed my Australian team about 8 or 9 times in the run-in. I went with Barb.
Ooh.
And I went with Barb because I think that her ability to reach for flavours and get them right makes her stable, but at the same time, that person who can step out of her comfort zone and really push it. And her
push it real good.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's a pretty strong team.
Yeah, so and we're in effect.
I said this on Twitter earlier in the season. Salt and pepper, like Mel and Claire. I always think of that time in the music video, Salt and Pepper and We're in Effect. They just remind me of that because they're so in sync.
Oh my God, I would love to see them do a lip sync battle.
Oh, that would be awesome. So
that's what the hosts can do. We'll have Noel and Sandy and Mel and Claire do a lip sync battle.
Well, I was about to actually get to that.
Okay.
So I think just quickly for our teams, so our actual teams, not with 15 billion other people, our actual teams my teams are Nadia, Sophie, Yan, Andrew and Kate, Olivia, Robert, Monica, Claudia and Barb. Brandon, your teams are?
Nadia, Flora, Jane, Yan and Stephen for the Brits. Yep. And for the Aussies, Sean, Olivia, Antonio, Claudia and Dave.
Yours are?
Britain, we've got Nadia, Stephen, Andrew, Jane and Sophie. And Australia, Olivia, Monica, Antonio, Chris and Claudia.
There's a few constants there, I think. A few constants there, and that's not a bit of a shock. Now, there's 2 more things we have to come up with, folks. Judges and hosts.
Ooh.
Now, this is where I didn't warn anyone we were doing this, by the way. Now, judges, we have...
Mary Berry.
Okay, we have... Hang on a minute. Okay. We have 5 judges to pick from.
Ooh, okay.
Well, think about it.
Yeah.
We've got 5 judges to pick from. 2 from Australia.
Yeah.
2 from Britain. And there's an extra one from Britain.
Yeah, but then we could, make it even and get the Canada's baking show.
Yeah, but we haven't watched them enough, and that's the only problem. We haven't watched them enough. So what do you reckon, a 3-judge team? I think we need a 3-judge panel.
Like a deciding factor, but...
Yeah.
Wait, Mary, just go for... Oh, no, she's for the art of baking more than...
You need a 3-judge panel. All right, so who are we going with our 3-judge panel? I mean, Mary Berry is obviously the chairwoman.
I want Cherish Findon from Creme de la Creme. I love her.
We're sticking to the bakers.
I know who we need. We need Gary from MasterChef.
No.
What about Antonio? What's his name? Zumbo.
Nobody needs Antonio Zumbo. Apparently, by the way, that's a big hit in America on Netflix.
Of course it is.
I mean, it's sucked in Australia, but my God, the Americans love it. They don't understand it, but they love it. All right. So you have to pick out of the British and Australian Bake-Off judges.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we all agree that
Mary Berry.
Queen?
Fuck yes.
So
no content.
Okay, now you don't have to make it 1 from each. It can be 2 from 1. Up to you. I personally am going Paul Hollywood, and I'm also going to go Maggie B.
That's what I was going to pick because, like, Matt Moran does do, like, the ice cold stare pretty good, but you can't beat Paul's blue eyes. They just stare right into your soul. You can never tell what he's thinking.
Yeah. You know what would also even it out is that the Australians will have the advantage of knowing every ingredient Maggie B doesn't like, and they'll notice, like, cover everything in verjuice and booze.
And the other problem is, could you imagine a room where you've got Hollywood and Moran in the same room?
Ooh.
It might explode.
Existential crises everywhere.
Imagine the death stares and the asking of the questions followed by the raised eyebrows and the walking away. How are they going to cope? Nothing will ever happen.
No.
They'll just spend all their time with the judging going, shouldn't they have done this? Yeah. Shouldn't they have done that? Yeah. And just nothing would get decided, so you have to pick one. So I think...
What if you cycled it? You cycled it. I shit you not, right? You have, like, Matt and Prue in one round. You have Paul and Maggie in another round. And then for the final, bring in Mary Berry.
I like it.
And a secret guest judge.
I like it.
Cherish Findon.
No. Yeah, right. Look, good crock and bush. And okay, so what I think we go with is for two of the. So it's we said it's a 3 weeks. Yeah. So you go toss of a coin, but Prue and Matt, Maggie and Paul. Yeah. And then Prue and Matt or Maggie and Paul again to toss the coin for the 3rd week.
All 4 of them.
Oh, the 4 of them. Yes.
I reckon, like, since it's it's the 2 Bakeoffs coming together for one competition, each judge should be able to appear at least once.
Yeah. So we got Prue and Matt, Paul and Maggie. Then you put the 4 of them together for the 3rd week.
Yeah.
And then for the grand final, you bring in Mary Berry, so it's Mary, Maggie, and Paul.
And what you can do in that 3rd week then is have both of them, like, split it into 2, so it's like double the points awarded, so they can vote.
No, I'm not going to complicate it.
Okay.
I'm not going to complicate it. It's already complex. I'm already losing people. I can hear people turning out going, this is ridiculous. What the hell are you doing?
Your points matrix is insane.
What have you done, Buchanan? You've ruined the show. You've ruined everything. This is why we don't like you. Okay. Now the question that nobody wants to answer, but damn it, I'm going to ask it. Hosts.
Cycle.
Now, no. This one I'm going to make you make a call.
No.
I can't do it.
No. I'm out.
Oh, look at this. We've got Defiance on.
No.
We've got Defiance on because he's...
So there can only be 2 hosts throughout the whole thing?
I'm prepared to go 3.
No.
I'm not prepared to go any more than 3.
That's cruel, Chris.
Here's what I'll do. All right? 3 hosts.
Yeah.
And the others get to do the segments about the history of the bakes.
Oh.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair. So we've got the hosts. Now remember, we have 6 hosts to choose from.
Yeah.
3 of them host the show, and then you get 3 of them who go off and do the segments.
All right.
This is going to be interesting because do you break up a team or do you leave and add a 3rd?
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to do personally. Yeah. I know my call. And I've only just come up with this here, by the way. So I've only just come up with it. So do you want me to go first? Or?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
My hosts are Claire, Mel, and Sandy.
Ooh.
And then you have
then
let Sue and Mel from UK and Noel go off and do the segments.
Okay.
And I think...
you meant Mel Buttle as well.
Yeah, Mel Buttle. I'm keeping Mel and Claire together.
Whoa.
I'm keeping Mel and Claire together and putting Sandy Togsvig with them.
Yeah.
Because we know that Sandy is really good at those sly innuendos as well, and those sly puns and innuendos.
Yeah. And
she's also a very good host.
Yes.
So you've got the 3 of them together as the power hosts.
Okay.
And then the others, Mel from UK and Sue Perkins and Noel Fielding, get to go off and do all the bits. And they can also go talk to all the teams because given you've got about 15 billion people there.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon? How would you do it?
Me or Brand?
We'll start with you, Chrissy.
Right. Okay. No, I want Mel Buttle out in the field. I want to hear her take on some weird-ass fucking shit.
Okay.
I want Mel from Great British Bakeoff out in the field as well, because I do like her take on quite a few things. And I'm sending Sandy out in the field because I want all hell to break loose in this shed.
Oh, God. Okay, so your shed is...
Noel, Claire, and Sue.
Oh, God.
Because there would be so much fucking, like...
That'd be amazing.
It's essentially, like, there will be so many...
That'd be amazing.
Like, hilarious puns, for one, and innuendos for the other. But just sabotage that would be going on.
That is
hilarious.
That is beyond brilliant. I can't argue with that. That's genius. Okay, Brandon, your call.
Oh, this is the hardest decision. It's harder than picking the bakers.
It is.
As Natalie Imbruglia says, I'm torn.
Nothing's fine. Are you there around?
Yeah.
In fact,
I might be torn. I'm not lying naked on the floor, though. I'll just point that out.
Thank you for pointing that out to us.
Not till.
Okay, here goes. At least they all get to appear on the show. That makes me feel a bit better. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in the tent, the hosts.
Yep.
Go Noel. You have to have Noel in the shed. He's just the funniest. He gets into the most weirdest situations.
I thought he might want to go to Amsterdam again.
Okay, so we've got Noel. I'll have to go Mel Buttle. She comes up with just the best dirty jokes and just the best innuendos, I think, out of all of them. So we've got Noel, Mel Buttle. And we'll have to put Claire. I think Mel and Claire are a pair. You can't separate them. I'm sorry. They have to stay together. And then I guess in the field it means we've got Mel and Sue. Again, to me, they're all pairs, but like Mel and Sue, they've been a pair, like comedy duo since I think the 90s. So you've got to keep them together.
And they've also done field work a lot.
Yeah, and Sandy, but they all get to appear on the show, so I'm happy. I wouldn't have been happy if one or two had to miss out. I'd cry.
Oh, no, they were all going to appear. You can't not have them there. So I think that's really interesting, by the way, because consistent, just to point this out, the consistent is Claire.
Claire's always in the shed.
Claire is, we've all said the same thing, Claire is in there.
Yeah.
I think that...
And a Mel as well, of some description. Oh, no.
No. I didn't have a Mel.
I had Mel's out.
You put both Mels in the field. I think...
So I'm sure Noel would enjoy that. I'm not too sure if the one of the Mels would enjoy being in a male field.
Anyway, so you've got... It's a really interesting situation now because I think what that sort of goes back to as well is, apart from the fact that everyone thinks that Mel Buttle is just the most hilarious human.
Yeah. Send her to Amsterdam and see what happens.
I think the other thing that sort of reconfirms for everybody is that Claire is sneaky good as a stabilising host as well as being damn funny.
Yes.
She just has that sort of gravitas to her. So it's getting late for you, isn't it?
No, I'm just thinking gravitas, and there she was, talking dirty with Dave and
that's perfect.
And Barb talking about eating butts.
That is Bakeoff gravitas.
I mean, sticky buns.
That's gravitas. If Maggie Beer can make a comment about things being all up and ready and happy to see you,
Bakeoff gravitas,
then that is Bakeoff gravitas.
I'm basically living my life with Bakeoff gravitas.
Exactly. That's your style.
Some added belching.
Exactly. Always added felching. So anything you'd like to add to this in terms of the way the show seems to be panning out for you then, Brent?
I think it's perfect the way that you've panned it out. I couldn't have thought of it better, to be honest. I'd need a lot more time in order to do that, but I really like your ideas. I think it would work well.
I've had far too much time on my hands. Some would say I've spent too long on this.
How long?
Since the beginning.
The first time I asked the question about the Bakeoff Ashes was I asked Jan.
Yeah.
I didn't ask Jan. I asked Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but we've been discussing it, I think.
Yeah, I think we've discussed
since
it.
the end of Great British.
Yeah, we talked about it in British. So, yeah it's been November, October.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and I have actually been planning this the whole damn time. So this has been fun. And what's been even more fun is getting to have you finally on the podcast. So,
I've been so excited for this because this is actually I've been following your podcast pretty much since the beginning, but this is actually the first time we've all spoken for real.
Yeah.
Yes. You're like long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, we'll have to make sure that it's not that long until your next visit, obviously. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, Brendan. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me. I couldn't have had much the amount of fun that I have. As you said, I think this was the perfect one for me to do.
It was
because I've only been watching the show religiously for like 4 years. You know, that's not a long time. You know, just like Julia said, I've only practiced this showstopper 7 times. That's not a lot.
and as Claudia said, I got through auditions. I got through auditions. So hashtag for next year, let Brendan bake. And having added that little hashtag in, my name's Chris.
And I'm still Christy.
And we will catch
And I'm Brandon.
And we will catch you all later.
Ciao.